The Star of the Magi. Gentle Bible story. According to the Gospel of Matthew, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem. They had seen his star when it rose, and they came to worship the one who had been born King of the Jews. The Gospel tells us that the star led them to the place where the child was. There they saw the child with Mary his mother, bowed down, worshipped him, and offered gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Now the story begins under a faraway night sky in the east. There were men who watched the heavens and studied the movements of the stars. The Gospel calls them Magi. They were not from Bethlehem, and they were not from the people of Israel. They lived far away, beyond the familiar roads of Jerusalem and Judea. But one night, they saw a star that was different from the others. To many people, it may have looked like only a light in the sky. But to the Magi, that star carried a deeper meaning. It seemed to speak of a king who had been born. It seemed to call them away from their own land and into a journey they did not fully understand. A person does not leave a familiar place without a reason. A long road asks for patience, courage, and hope. The Magi did not begin their journey with every answer already in their hands. They began with a sign in the sky and a quiet belief in their hearts. They followed the light they had been given. Step by step, they traveled across a long distance. They passed through unknown roads, changing landscapes, cold nights, and tiring days. The star had started their journey, but the road itself still had to be walked. Faith often begins like that. It does not always begin with a clear map. Sometimes it begins with a small light that tells the heart to move forward. At last, the Magi came to Jerusalem. Jerusalem was the great city, the place where a king might be expected to be found. So they asked a question that sounded simple, but carried great weight. Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? We saw his star when it rose, and we have come to worship him. Those words did not bring quiet joy to the city. The Gospel says that when King Herod heard this, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. The birth of a king can bring hope to the humble, but fear to those who are holding tightly to power. Herod sat on a throne, but his heart was not at peace. He did not hear the news as good news. He heard it as a threat. So Herod gathered the chief priests and scribes of the people. He asked them where the Christ was to be born. They answered from the words of the prophet. In Bethlehem of Judea, the promised ruler would come from that small town. The Magi had come first to a great city, but the answer pointed them to a humble place. God's way often moves like that. People may look toward power, palaces, and famous places, but God can place his greatest gift in a small town, in a quiet home, and in the arms of a mother. Then Herod secretly called the Magi. He asked them carefully when the star had appeared. After that, he sent them to Bethlehem and told them to search carefully for the child. He said that when they found him, they should bring word back to him, so that he also might go and worship him. His words sounded respectful, but his heart was not true. The Magi did not yet know the darkness hidden inside Herod's plan. So they left Jerusalem and continued their journey. Then something beautiful happened. The star they had seen in the east went before them. It guided them until it came to rest over the place where the child was. When the Magi saw the star, they rejoiced with very great joy. That short sentence carries a deep feeling. They had traveled far. They had searched. They had asked questions. They had passed through the troubled city and the shadow of Herod. And now, the light they had followed was before them again. Their joy was more than the relief of finding the right road. It was the joy of hope coming near. It was the joy of a long journey finally reaching its purpose. The Magi entered the house. There they saw the child with Mary his mother. This was not a royal palace filled with soldiers and golden walls. It was not the kind of place where the world would expect a great king to be found. There was a mother. There was a child. There was a quiet home. But the Magi bowed down and worshipped him. They had come from far away, yet they lowered themselves before a small child. This is one of the quiet wonders of the story. They saw beyond what was outwardly small. They recognized a king in a humble place. True faith does not only look for greatness in shining places. Sometimes true faith sees the deepest glory where the world sees only simplicity. Then the Magi opened their treasures. They offered him gifts: gold, frankincense, myrrh. Gold was a gift fit for a king. Frankincense carried the feeling of worship and holiness. Myrrh was precious, but it also quietly pointed toward sorrow, suffering, and death. The Magi did not come with empty hands. They brought what was costly. They placed their treasures before the child. Worship is not only spoken with words. When the heart truly honors someone, it learns to lay something precious down. Their journey had begun with watching a star, but it ended with bowing before Jesus. It ended with worship. It ended with gifts placed before the newborn king. After this, The Magi were warned in a dream not to return to Herod. So they went back to their own country by another way. They returned home, but they did not return by the same road. This detail is simple, but it feels meaningful. When someone truly meets Jesus, the road after that cannot remain exactly the same. The Magi had followed a star to find the child, but after worshiping him, they were guided away from danger and sent home by another path. Their story reminds us that God can call people from far away. He can place a light in the heart of someone who does not yet understand everything. He can guide searching people step by step until they come near to Jesus. The Magi did not know the whole story when they began. They did not understand the cross, the resurrection, or the full meaning of the child they would find. But they followed the light they had been given. They came to worship. They bowed before the King. Now this story leaves a quiet comfort in our hearts. God is not only near to those who already know every answer. He is also able to guide those who are still searching. He can use a small light, a question, a longing, or a quiet hope to begin a journey toward Christ. If your heart feels far away, this story reminds you that distance is not too great for God. If your path feels unclear, this story reminds you that one small light can still lead you forward. And if you are still searching, the story of the Magi gently says that God can guide searching hearts to Jesus. I hope this story becomes a small star of hope for every heart walking a long road. And I hope it gives quiet comfort to anyone who wants to follow the light, one step at a time.